Words are not merely sounds that emerge from our mouths or symbols we arrange on a page. They are potent tools that shape perception, define relationships, and create or destroy the emotional landscapes of those around us. Human beings are linguistic creatures, deeply affected by the words they hear, the words they internalize, and the words they choose to believe. An intelligent person understands this truth at a fundamental level. They recognize that every word carries weight and that what is said, especially in moments of vulnerability, can alter the course of a relationship, a decision, or even a life. Consider the way a single phrase can change a person's entire day. A careless remark about someone's appearance, intellect, or abilities can linger in their mind for hours, days, even years. People are not purely rational beings. We are emotional creatures with memories that replay certain words like a song stuck on repeat. When a person is told they are not good enough, not attractive enough, not capable enough, that message embeds itself deep in their subconscious. It becomes part of their self-narrative, often influencing their actions and self-perception in ways they might not even realize. Now, take this understanding into the realm of relationships, particularly in communication between a man and a woman. The way a man speaks to a woman can affect her sense of self, her trust, and her perception of the relationship. Words can offer security, reassurance, and encouragement, or they can plant seeds of doubt, insecurity, and fear. An intelligent person does not simply say what is on their mind without regard for the impact of those words. They recognize that truth, while important, must be handled with care. Truth without wisdom can be destructive. Imagine telling someone a brutally honest opinion without considering how it might affect them. "You look tired today" might seem like a neutral observation, but to the person hearing it, it might reinforce insecurities they already feel. That idea isn't very smart, might be factually accurate in a given context, but spoken without tact, it does not lead to growth, it leads to discouragement. Words have the ability to uplift or to wound, to construct or to dismantle, and once spoken, they cannot be retrieved. There is a reason why people remember insults more than compliments, why a single negative comment can overshadow a dozen positive ones. This is because human beings are wired for survival. We are attuned to threats, including social and emotional threats. A harsh criticism, an unkind remark, or an implication of inadequacy can be perceived as a form of rejection. And rejection, whether social, emotional, or intellectual, is one of the most painful experiences a person can endure. An intelligent person, therefore, is not just mindful of what is true, but also of what is necessary to say and in what manner. This does not mean one should lie or withhold important truths. On the contrary, honesty is a pillar of strong relationships. However, honesty must always be paired with empathy and responsibility. It is not enough to say, "I was just being honest," after making a cruel remark. That is not intelligence. That is an abdication of responsibility for one's impact on others. A truly intelligent person understands that the manner in which truth is delivered determines whether it is constructive or destructive. When speaking to a woman, this understanding becomes even more critical. Women, like all people, seek validation, connection, and security in their relationships. A thoughtless comment can create doubt where there was once confidence, tension where there was once ease. An intelligent man knows that his words are not just an expression of his own thoughts, but a force that shapes the environment he shares with his partner. If he constantly critiques, belittles, or dismisses, he is not engaging in intellectual discourse. He is eroding trust. Conversely, if he chooses his words carefully, delivering truth with kindness and encouragement, he creates an environment where both individuals can grow and feel secure. This principle extends beyond romantic relationships. In any interaction, whether with a colleague, a friend, or a stranger, the words a person chooses reveal their character. A person who speaks with awareness and precision commands respect. A person who speaks recklessly may provoke temporary attention, but they ultimately lose credibility and influence. Intelligence is not about speaking the most, but about speaking in a way that creates the greatest positive impact. There is a well-known saying, before you speak, ask yourself, is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? While this may sound overly simplistic, it holds a profound truth. An intelligent person understands that just because something can be said does not mean it should be said. They recognize that some truths are best expressed through action rather than words, and that some thoughts are better left unspoken if they serve no constructive purpose. In the end, words are not just reflections of thought, they are the architects of reality. The way a person speaks shapes their relationships, their reputation, and their influence in the world. Intelligence is not just about knowing facts, but about understanding the impact of communication. A truly intelligent person never speaks carelessly because they understand that once words are spoken, they cannot be unheard. A woman's sense of self-worth is one of the most fragile yet powerful aspects of her identity. It shapes how she interacts with the world, how she perceives herself in relationships, and how she responds to challenges. To tell a woman in any way, directly or indirectly, that she is unworthy is not just cruel, it is deeply irresponsible. A truly intelligent person understands that words carry immense weight and that devaluing someone, especially someone they care about, can have long-lasting consequences. Worth is not just an abstract concept. It is the foundation upon which people build their self-esteem, their confidence, and their ability to navigate life with resilience. When a woman feels valued, she carries herself with dignity, engages with others from a place of strength, and pursues her goals without the burden of self-doubt. But when her worth is questioned, especially by someone she trusts, her sense of stability begins to erode. The words a person speaks to her can either reinforce her belief in herself or plant seeds of insecurity that grow over time. Telling a woman she is unworthy does not always come in the form of outright statements. It can be communicated subtly through dismissiveness, through lack of appreciation, through comparison to others, or through withholding respect. A woman who constantly hears that she is too emotional, not good enough, or not as impressive as someone else may not outwardly react, but internally she absorbs these messages. Over time, they shape how she sees herself and how she expects to be treated. An intelligent person understands that relationships, whether romantic, professional, or platonic, or built on mutual respect, disrespecting a woman's worth, even in small ways, creates an imbalance that damages trust and connection. If a man, for example, repeatedly undermines his partner's achievements or dismisses her contributions, he is not just offering criticism, he is implying that she does not matter as much. If a colleague constantly talks over a woman in meetings or fails to acknowledge her ideas, he is reinforcing the message that her input holds less value. These moments, though they may seem insignificant in isolation, accumulate over time and contribute to a larger pattern of diminishing her sense of importance. This is not to say that a woman, or anyone for that matter, should be shielded from constructive criticism or hard truths. Growth often requires feedback, and honesty is an essential component of any meaningful relationship. However, there is a stark difference between offering guidance and making someone feel lesser. Telling a woman she is unworthy is not about helping her improve. It is about taking something away from her, whether intentionally or not. It is important to recognize that many people, both men and women, internalize messages of unworthiness from a young age. Society often reinforces unrealistic expectations, setting impossible standards for appearance, success, and behavior. Women in particular are frequently subjected to comparisons, whether to celebrities, to peers, or to idealized versions of themselves. An intelligent person understands that adding to this burden is not a demonstration of strength or superiority, it is a failure of character. Instead, they seek to uplift, to encourage, and to remind the people around them of their inherent value. Another critical aspect to consider is the way unworthiness affects behavior. A woman who feels undervalued will eventually withdraw, either emotionally or physically. In relationships, she may stop expressing her thoughts openly, fearing that they will be dismissed. In professional settings, she may hesitate to take risks or speak up, assuming her contributions will not be recognized. The long-term effect of this is not just personal dissatisfaction, it is a loss of potential. People who feel unworthy do not strive for greatness in the same way that those who feel valued do. They hold back, they second-guess themselves, and they settle for less than they deserve. The true mark of intelligence is not just in knowing this reality, but in acting upon it. A person who understands the impact of their words and actions makes a conscious effort to affirm rather than diminish. They recognize that uplifting someone is not about empty flattery or exaggerated praise, but about genuine acknowledgement of their strengths and contributions. They understand that reminding a woman of her worth is not just an act of kindness. It is an investment in her confidence, her growth, and her ability to thrive. Some may argue that people should be responsible for their own self-worth and that no one should rely on external validation. While there is truth to this, it does not absolve individuals of their responsibility to treat others with respect. Everyone has moments of doubt, moments when they question their value. In those moments, the words of others can either reinforce negativity or serve as a lifeline. A truly intelligent person chooses to be the latter. In the end, the way we treat others, especially in our closest relationships, is a reflection of our own character. To tell a woman she is unworthy in any form is not just an insult to her. It is a demonstration of one's own lack of understanding. Intelligence is not about proving superiority. It is about recognizing the value in others and ensuring that our words and actions reflect that recognition. A woman who knows her worth is a force to be reckoned with, and an intelligent person would never be the one to take that away from her. Resistance is the force that stands between you and everything you want in life. It is the doubt in your mind, the fear of failure, the exhaustion that tells you to stop, the voice whispering that you are not good enough. Resistance takes many forms: procrastination, self-doubt, distractions, and even external obstacles. But at its core, it is the barrier that separates those who succeed from those who give up. The ability to push through resistance is what defines strong, capable, and disciplined individuals. If you want to achieve anything meaningful, you must learn to recognize resistance for what it is and refuse to let it control you. Most people assume that resistance is a sign to stop, that when things become difficult, it means they are on the wrong path. This is entirely backward. Resistance is not a stop sign. It is proof that you are moving in the right direction. Anything worthwhile will demand effort, struggle, and persistence. If a goal is truly valuable, it will not be easy to attain. The presence of resistance is a signal that you are stretching beyond your current abilities, that you are growing, that you are in the process of becoming more than you were yesterday. Pushing through resistance requires a shift in mindset. Too many people expect progress to feel good, to be smooth and effortless. But growth is painful. It is uncomfortable. It demands sacrifice. When you feel resistance, when your mind and body scream at you to stop, that is the precise moment when you must push forward, because that is the moment that separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. It is the moment where weakness is shed, where strength is forged. The key to overcoming resistance is discipline. Motivation may get you started, but it will not carry you through when things become difficult. You must be willing to act regardless of how you feel. There will be days when you do not want to train, when you do not want to work, when you do not want to face the challenges ahead. But your feelings are irrelevant. Action must be taken regardless of how much resistance you feel. The stronger your discipline, the less control resistance has over you. Another critical tool in pushing through resistance is understanding the power of momentum. Resistance is strongest when you are standing still, when you are overthinking, when you are waiting for the perfect moment. But once you start moving, once you take the first step, the resistance begins to weaken. The hardest part of any task is beginning. The moment you take action, even in the smallest way, you shift from a state of hesitation to a state of progress. Do not wait to feel ready. Begin, and the feeling of readiness will follow. Resistance also feeds on fear, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of discomfort. But fear only has power if you give it attention. If you treat fear as an excuse to stop, it will grow. If you acknowledge fear but act anyway, it loses its grip. The most successful people in any field are not those who are fearless, but those who have learned to move forward despite fear. They have conditioned themselves to face resistance head on, to expect it, to see it as part of the process rather than an obstacle that stops them. One of the most effective ways to push through resistance is to create non-negotiable habits. If you leave room for excuses, resistance will exploit that opening. But if you make your habits part of your identity, something you do without question, resistance has nowhere to take hold. You do not question whether or not you should eat or sleep, you just do it. That is the level of commitment you must develop toward your goals. Whether or not you feel like it is irrelevant. You do the work because that is who you are. Pushing through resistance is not just about achieving external success. It is about building the kind of person you become in the process. Every time you overcome resistance, you reinforce the mindset of resilience, the belief that you can handle difficulty, that you can endure discomfort, that you are capable of more than you once thought. Over time, this mindset becomes ingrained, and what once felt impossible becomes second nature. Most people never achieve what they truly desire because they allow resistance to dictate their actions. They stop when it gets hard, they retreat when they feel doubt, they let fear control their decisions. But the ones who succeed are those who refuse to let resistance win. They push forward no matter what. They understand that resistance is not something to be feared, it is something to conquer, something to use as a measure of progress. The truth is, resistance will never disappear. It will always be there, trying to slow you down, trying to convince you to quit. But the stronger you become, the weaker resistance becomes in comparison. You do not need to eliminate resistance, you only need to be stronger than it. And that strength is built through action, through consistency, through the refusal to give in. So when you feel resistance, when your mind tells you to stop, when doubt creeps in, when fear tries to take over, recognize it for what it is. It is not a reason to quit. It is a challenge to overcome. And the moment you decide to push through, you take control of your life. Because in the end, success belongs to those who refuse to be stopped. Regret is one of the heaviest burdens a person can carry. It lingers in the mind, resurfacing at unexpected moments, reminding you of the chances you didn't take, the opportunities you let slip away, and the things you should have done differently. Regret is the realization that you had the power to act, to make a choice, to change your circumstances, but you didn't. And once time has passed, you can never get it back. That is why avoiding regret must be a central focus in how you live your life. You must act with intention, make decisions with clarity, and push yourself forward so that when you look back, you do so with a sense of fulfillment rather than disappointment. One of the biggest causes of regret is inaction. People hesitate, overthink, and wait for the perfect moment, only to realize too late that the moment has passed. They tell themselves they will start tomorrow, next week, or next year. But time moves forward regardless of how ready you feel. If you wait too long, life will move on without you. The job you wanted will be filled by someone else. The opportunity to start that business, to pursue that dream, to take that risk, It will be gone, and the only thing left will be the regret of knowing that you could have tried, but you chose not to. The key to avoiding this kind of regret is simple: act. Take the first step, even if you are uncertain. The perfect moment does not exist. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is now. Another major cause of regret is living according to other people's expectations instead of your own values. Too many people make choices based on what others think, fearing judgment, criticism, or rejection. They pursue careers they don't love, stay in relationships that don't fulfill them, and suppress their true desires because they are afraid of disappointing others. But in the end, it is your life, not theirs. The people whose opinions you are so concerned about will not be the ones living with the consequences of your decisions. You will. And if you shape your life around what others want instead of what you truly want, you will wake up one day with the painful realization that you lived someone else's life, not your own. To avoid this regret, you must have the courage to trust yourself, to define success on your own terms, and to make decisions that align with your own values. Regret also comes from neglecting relationships. People often take their loved ones for granted, assuming there will always be time to reconnect, to express appreciation, to repair broken bonds. But life is unpredictable, and time is not guaranteed. Many people only realize the importance of a relationship after it is too late, when the person is gone, when the friendship has faded, when the opportunity to make amends no longer exists. The regret of not telling someone how much they meant to you, of not spending more time with them, of letting pride prevent reconciliation. These are some of the deepest regrets a person can experience. The solution is to be present, to prioritize the people who matter, and to never assume that you will always have another chance. If something needs to be said, say it. If forgiveness is needed, offer it. If time together is possible, take it. A significant source of regret is failing to push beyond fear. Fear stops people from taking risks, from pursuing their goals, from stepping outside their comfort zones. It convinces them that failure is too painful, that rejection is too embarrassing, that effort is not worth the risk. And so they stay where it is safe, avoiding discomfort, but also avoiding growth. The problem is, comfort does not lead to fulfillment. Years later, people look back and realize that their fear stole opportunities from them. They regret not taking the shot, not testing their potential, not seeing what they were truly capable of. The truth is, failure and rejection are temporary, but regret lasts forever. It is far better to try and fail than to never try at all, because even in failure, there is growth, experience, and resilience. But in never trying, there is only emptiness. Another way people invite regret into their lives is by neglecting their health. When people are young, they assume they have endless time, that they can ignore their well-being and deal with the consequences later. They prioritize work, entertainment, or convenience over their physical and mental health until later arrives, and then they realize that they have sacrificed their energy, their strength, their ability to fully enjoy life. The regret of not taking care of yourself, of allowing preventable health issues to develop, of not treating your body and mind with the respect they deserve, is one of the most painful regrets a person can have. The way to avoid this is to take responsibility now. Eat well, exercise, get enough sleep, manage stress. As later is coming, whether you prepare for it or not. Ultimately, the best way to avoid regret is to live with intention. Be conscious of your choices. Do not let time slip through your fingers while you wait for the right conditions. Do not allow fear, doubt, or other people's opinions to dictate your actions. Take responsibility for your life. Strengthen your relationships. Push beyond your comfort zone. Prioritize your health. Because when the future arrives and you look back, the goal is not to wish you had done things differently. The goal is to know that you lived fully, that you took risks, that you embraced opportunities, and that you made the most of the time you were given. Regret is avoidable, but only if you choose to take action today. Emotional intelligence is one of the most valuable yet often overlooked aspects of personal and professional success. It is the ability to understand, manage, and navigate emotions, both one's own and those of others. While traditional intelligence, often measured by IQ, determines cognitive ability, emotional intelligence, EQ, determines how effectively a person interacts with the world. It influences relationships, decision-making, leadership, and overall well-being. Those who possess high emotional intelligence are not only better equipped to handle life's challenges, but also more capable of fostering deep, meaningful connections with others. Self-awareness is the foundation of emotional intelligence. It involves recognizing and understanding one's own emotions, triggers, and behavioral patterns. A person who is self-aware knows how they react to stress, what makes them feel anxious or frustrated, and how their emotions influence their decisions. Without self-awareness, emotions can take control, leading to impulsive actions and poor judgment. For example, someone who lacks self-awareness might lash out in anger without understanding why they are truly upset. On the other hand, a self-aware individual can step back, analyze their emotions, and respond in a more measured way. Self-regulation builds upon self-awareness. It is the ability to control emotions rather than be controlled by them. This does not mean suppressing feelings, but rather managing them in a way that prevents unnecessary conflict and regret. A person with strong self-regulation can experience anger or frustration without immediately reacting in destructive ways. Instead, they take the time to process their emotions and choose a response that aligns with their values and goals. This ability is particularly crucial in leadership, where emotional outbursts can erode trust and respect. Leaders who can regulate their emotions create environments of stability and reliability, whereas those who cannot often create tension and unpredictability. Motivation, another key component of emotional intelligence, refers to the drive to achieve goals beyond external rewards. People with high emotional intelligence are often intrinsically motivated. They find purpose and fulfillment in their work, relationships, and personal development. They are not easily discouraged by setbacks because they understand that challenges are part of growth. Unlike those who rely solely on external validation, emotionally intelligent individuals are fueled by a deep sense of purpose, making them more resilient and adaptable. Empathy is perhaps one of the most powerful aspects of emotional intelligence. It is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. Empathy goes beyond simply recognizing emotions. It involves actively listening, putting oneself in another's position, and responding with compassion. In personal relationships, empathy fosters deeper connections and trust. In professional settings, social skills, the final major component of emotional intelligence, determine how well a person interacts with others. This includes communication, conflict resolution, persuasion, and the ability to build and maintain relationships. People with strong social skills are not only effective communicators, but also adept at reading social cues, managing group dynamics, and fostering positive interactions. Emotional intelligence is not something people are simply born with. It can be developed and strengthened over time. The first step in improving emotional intelligence is practicing self-reflection, taking the time to assess one's emotional responses. Identifying patterns and understanding triggers can lead to greater mindfulness practices such as meditation or journaling can also help individuals become more in tune with their emotions. Another important aspect of developing emotional intelligence is learning to regulate reactions. This means pausing before responding, considering the consequences of words and actions, and choosing responses that align with long-term goals rather than short-term emotions. Techniques such as deep breathing, cognitive reframing, and seeking perspective can help in moments of heightened emotion. Empathy can be cultivated through active listening and genuine curiosity about others' experiences. Instead of assuming or judging, emotionally intelligent individuals seek to understand. They ask questions, validate others' feelings, and offer support when needed. By making a conscious effort to see situations from different perspectives, they build stronger, more meaningful relationships. Social skills can be improved through practice and observation. Paying attention to how emotionally intelligent people communicate, handle conflict, and navigate social situations can provide valuable insights. Additionally, working on clear and respectful communication, maintaining eye contact, and being mindful of body language can enhance interpersonal interactions. Ultimately, emotional intelligence is a skill that enhances every aspect of life. It allows people to navigate the complexities of human emotions with grace, make better decisions, and build lasting relationships. In a world where intelligence is often measured by academic, respect is the foundation of all meaningful communication. It serves as the bridge that connects individuals, allowing them to exchange ideas, express emotions, and resolve conflicts with understanding and dignity. Without respect, communication breaks down, leading to misunderstandings, resentment, and strained relationships. Whether in personal interactions, professional settings, or broader societal discussions, the presence or absence of respect determines the quality and effectiveness of communication. At its core, respect in communication means valuing the perspectives, feelings, and experiences of others. It does not necessarily mean agreeing with every viewpoint, but it does mean listening with an open mind, acknowledging different perspectives, and responding with consideration. When respect is present, conversations become productive rather than combative, fostering deeper connections and mutual understanding. One of the key aspects of respectful communication is active listening. Too often, people listen only to respond rather than to understand. They interrupt, dismiss opposing views, or focus solely on making their point rather than engaging in genuine dialogue. Active listening requires patience and attention. It means giving the speaker full focus, making eye contact, and responding thoughtfully. When people feel heard, they are more likely to reciprocate with the same level of respect, leading to healthier and more constructive conversations. Another crucial element of respect in communication is tone and language. The way something is said is often just as important as what is being said. Harsh words, sarcasm, or a dismissive tone can shut down communication, making the other person feel attacked or belittled. On the other hand, a calm and measured tone fosters openness and collaboration. Choosing words carefully, avoiding unnecessary criticism, and framing feedback in a constructive manner are all essential components of respectful communication. Respect also involves recognizing boundaries. Every individual has limits regarding what they are comfortable discussing, how they prefer to communicate, and how they expect to be treated. Disregarding these boundaries, whether by prying into personal matters, making insensitive jokes, or dominating a conversation, creates discomfort and erodes trust. A person who respects boundaries understands that effective communication requires sensitivity to the needs and comfort levels of others. In professional settings, respect is fundamental to teamwork, leadership, and productivity. A workplace where respect is prioritized sees greater collaboration, higher morale, and increased efficiency. Employees who feel valued and respected are more likely to contribute ideas, engage in discussions, and perform at their best. Conversely, a lack of respect, whether through dismissive leadership, toxic work environments, or poor communication, creates tension, reduces motivation, and leads to disengagement. Leaders who model respectful communication set the tone for the entire organization, fostering a culture where open dialogue and mutual appreciation thrive. Respectful communication is equally critical in personal relationships. Whether between partners, friends, or family members, the way people communicate determines the strength of their bonds. Disagreements and conflicts are natural in any relationship, but how they are handled makes all the difference. When disagreements are approached with respect, they lead to growth and understanding. When they are handled with disrespect, through insults, accusations, or refusal to listen, they drive people apart. A relationship built on respect allows for honest communication, where both parties feel safe expressing their thoughts without fear of being judged or dismissed. Another important aspect of respect in communication is cultural sensitivity. In an increasingly interconnected world, people interact with individuals from diverse backgrounds, beliefs, and traditions. What is considered polite in one culture may be seen as offensive in another. Being aware of and respectful toward different communication styles, customs, and perspectives helps to avoid misunderstandings and build meaningful connections. Taking the time to learn about and appreciate cultural differences demonstrates a willingness to communicate with respect and inclusivity. Respect also plays a crucial role in conflict resolution. When emotions run high, it is easy to let frustration take over, leading to heated arguments rather than productive discussions. However, conflicts handled with respect lead to resolution rather than escalation. This means allowing the other person to speak without interruption, avoiding personal attacks, and seeking common ground rather than focusing solely on winning the argument. Respectful conflict resolution does not mean avoiding difficult conversations. Rather, it means approaching them with a mindset of understanding and cooperation. In the digital age, where communication often takes place through screens rather than face-to-face interactions, respect is more important than ever. Online discussions, social media interactions, and virtual meetings can sometimes lack the nonverbal cues that help convey tone and intent. As a result, messages can be misinterpreted and conversations can quickly become hostile. Practicing respect in digital communication means thinking before posting, avoiding inflammatory language, and treating others with the same courtesy one would expect in a face-to-face conversation. Ultimately, respect in communication is about recognizing the humanity in others. It is about acknowledging that every person has thoughts, feelings, and experiences that shape their perspectives. It is about treating others with dignity, even in moments of disagreement. When respect is present, communication becomes a tool for connection, growth, and understanding. Without it, communication turns into a battlefield where words are weapons rather than bridges. An intelligent person understands that respect is not just a courtesy, it is a necessity. It is the foundation upon which trust is built, relationships are strengthened, and progress is made. By practicing respectful communication, individuals create environments where ideas can be exchanged freely, conflicts can be resolved constructively, and relationships can flourish. In every conversation, whether personal, professional, or digital, respect should always be the guiding principle, ensuring that communication remains a force for unity rather than division.